Yo, it's Guido coming out with the Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to World of Tanks with Guido. And we are here with a replay review. We have Avoided Donut, one of the better names that sends in replays. The Avoided Donut. How sad that donut must be, the one that was avoided. The one that did not get et. Avoided Donut is here on Mines. Let's get off the Avoided Donut name. Still, great name. It has to be said. In an all-tier 8 battle. I was about to say 9, but it's a tier 8. Hey, get that mod 1 avoided. Oh, you missed him. The mod 1's in the open. All right, there's a missed shot. He's on Mines and he goes to a rock. I don't typically use this rock, but it is a very good spot for kind of controlling the middle here, at least stopping guys from getting up to the top. It can be a bit exposed if the red team had got the hill, but guess what? The red team had not got the hill. Additionally, you do not want to be there if there's artillery. And it can be hit by people who are camping in the back, and crossing right there is dangerous. Did you just notice that Type 59 fired HE? I don't know if I've ever seen a Type 59 fire HE. Unless he had a heavily armored target up there who was attempting to kill 10 hit points at a time. I don't know. But Avoided has moved into this little nook right here. And this is another great spot that is dangerous with artillery, and clearly not good if the enemy team has the hill. But there are neither one of those things involved in this game. And that's a good example of somebody who is paying attention to the setup of the game and going to good spots. For those reasons, I don't usually use these places. One of my problems with this spot, it is difficult to get out of. If you're farm alarm a ding dang, taking all kinds of shots and hit points off people like this right here. You know, Type 59 had an automatic fire extinguisher, but he was firing HE. What? Anyway, if you have a lot of shots, like I said, farm alarm a ding dang, that's what I said, then it's not a bad spot. Watch him go into the cheek of the low. That's a weak spot right there, especially if he gives a little bit of a flat angle, like his turret was turned off to the right. That was a nice shot right there. This spot can be quite nice. However, like I said, getting out of here is not exactly easy. Still, he doesn't need to. Avoided is just farming these guys, and his team is hanging on. He's got some guys over there on the west side, hanging out on the island. He's going to get a shot. Just shoots and pulls back in time. That was really nicely done right there. He's got a guy way up in the north, the IS-3 kind of in the northeast, dealing with the 50 TP and another friend. T-44 on the enemy team has kind of come around the corner and got his tanks, the Tiger II and his buddy, pushed back, the 4502A, and then he's got the requisite campers, the Charioteer, and the Su-101 supporting everybody from the back there. And while I call them campers, at least that spot has a lot of shots on this very small map and the places you fight. So not a bad place, at least early game, for a couple TDs to be to kind of control things, so long as they move out when required. So this becomes kind of a stagnant fight. There's not much of a fight for the middle. There is a little bit of peeking and poking going on. And Mines can become kind of one of these real slow grinds once somebody grabs the hill and the other team doesn't want to push into it and everyone starts turtling up behind things. This fight's been going on for a little while back here. Avoided probably had a shot or two he didn't really pay attention to, but he was busy shooting the guys in front of him. Now he's turned his attention while the people on the ramp are done with him shooting the piss out of him, and they've kind of turtled up so that he can't do that anymore. But the good news is he's stripped 1,600 hit points off of them and killed one of them. So the 5,100 has to back up. Mutz kills a 40T. He is going to have to watch his 6 o'clock then, because while he's got the TDs back there, the other guys are starting to die off, and if they drive up into those bushes behind him or into that flat part, they can take him down pretty quick. But they would be eating shots from the Charioteer and the 101. So for the moment, he's in not bad shape. You'll see him tuck up behind the rock there just to make sure that ELC, whatever that silly thing is, doesn't sneak out of the bushes right there and put a shot on him. And then the thing tries to run away, makes a mistake, comes out in the open, and down he goes. Avoided has some nice gunnery there, takes that dude down. It's still even though, it's 5-4. Basically, the guard is hanging out there. I would have taken this shot too. Pretty soon he's just going to fire one in there and see if he can't sneak a shot. But it looks like the guard had moved back or it bounced. Who knows? But he didn't die. All we know is he did not die. Now this is where it's getting a little dangerous. There are people back in those bushes that might be able to spot him. He looks like he shoots into that bush. Just a little courtesy shot. Looking for the guard. and unfortunately not reloaded. So I think that was smart not to stand in and look for that shot. The 69 would have started shooting. And anyway, look at that. They're just hammering the poor guy as he tries to back out of there. A little bit of spotting damage for avoided at 758. And now he's got to mess with this 54 Mod 1, which has pretty dang good armor for a little light. The 4502 sort of loses his mind driving out into the open. I think he's tracked. Avoided kind of ignores that. This guy gets a shot on him and he finds him and takes him down. And I'm not really sure. What did this 4502 is kind of sitting out in the open. It looks like he's getting tracked over and over by the 54 Mod 1. I think avoided may, I think you could have been a little more patient on that shot and you might have got a shot in there on a better spot. The 101 takes down the Mutz, who simply drives up underneath there. I'm not really sure what he was thinking. He had to know there were a bunch of TDs there. Switch to HE. Avoided puts a shot into the Mod 1, and he's basically a one-shot to HE. It's like he's got another HE round coming up. The Ravioli has a relatively slow reload for a Tier 8 medium. It has a pretty big gun, 390 alpha. Hits hard, but it does have a relatively long reload. His 4502 buddy is dead. Looks like he's backing up looking. I don't think there's anyone there, because if you count noses, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5, maybe 6. He did get hit by the RHM, or shot by the RHM a little while ago, so that RHM is probably in the back there somewhere. So I agree with this. It's time to push forward. There's 2 guys missing at least. There's one of them, so the T-28 is right there. He's driving up. Mod 1, nice shot, pops out, surprises him a little bit, and takes him down. And now we're going to go ahead and switch to regular AP and see if we can get a shot into the T-28. He's giving us some side armor, but then he sneaks up beside the low. And now this is a bit problematic because of the 28 pointing right at avoided is going to be hard to take down. The Progetto, I don't really know what his plan is right there other than drive across and die to the T-28. Or perhaps the RHM. The T-28 seemed to notice him really late, turns and kills him. That gives avoided a chance to come out and zoom in. Be careful about the T-28 because it does have a relatively fast reload. It's more on the 8 to 9 second kind of heavy reload than on a really big, fast TD reload. And avoided's got to be careful coming in. Let's see, I'm surprised he didn't get shot in the back. He takes a crazy route, which I didn't even know was there, and is able to avoid any damage. And then instead of coming at the RHM, I don't know avoided. I might have gone against the RHM, although if he's got the big gun, he could high roll potentially and kill you off. But the reason I say that is, if you look at it, you got some guys coming around the corner and the 4202 up top, and this just takes you a little while to get around, so we're going to speed this up a little bit. We get up to the top, we find the T-28. Now we're putting shots into him. And this is the good news about the route you took. Now you're kind of over here, hidden. T-28 has driven up to the top, but he's getting tracked and tore down by multiple of you. You and the charioteer put shots on him. The 4202 puts a shot on him right there. And now we're just, oh, he fixes it. Would have been nice if the 4202 would have actually tracked him one more time instead of going for damage. Because 102 hit point T-28 in this situation, cornered like that where you can't quite get to him, is actually still quite dangerous. T-44 goes down from the 101. Doing that work I talked about earlier, as long as somebody pokes and prods over here, you may actually have the shot. Down goes the RHM. It's really all over but the shouting. The 112 is around somewhere. There he is. Looks like avoided's going to come up and around him to the back. And actually, this is closer than it looks. Holy cow, did the T-28 go off the back and not die? Oh, and we got a bounce or a miss. Looks like it went into the ground. The 112 is a relatively long reload. He's been oh, that was tough. Underneath, maybe to the right. There we go. Just looking for that lower plate. I think that was the right answer right there. You had to get rid of that guy. But you're both facing the T-28, so if I was a 4502, I'd go up top. This is a prime candidate for a dive bomb kill. Ooh, it looks like avoided was going to try the reverse side scrape trick, but the 4202 is having none of it. And one thing he can do there, because he's got a turret, is he can poke just enough to grab that outside hatch and shoot the T-28 before the T-28 can shoot him, or at least make the T-28 have a much more difficult little tiny piece of the 4202 to shoot. He's able to snipe. That looks like probably the hatch, I would imagine, is how that went down, unless it was some kind of HE, but unlikely. More than likely that nice accurate 4202 gun took out the hatch. Looks like the 101 was moving forward. He's platooned with avoided. Unknown if that was dynamic or what. But nice job, man. 3,176, 775 assist, 6 kills. This may have been a dynamic for a platoon award right here. I didn't look at when they actually added themselves together. But overall, nice game with a top gun with the Ravioli. Avoided, thanks for sending that in. I appreciate it. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned a little bit something right there. Kind of an alternate way to fight mines. I don't really fight it that way, and it is a bit situational with no artillery. And the enemy didn't take the hill, but still, you play what you got and you react to it, and it was a nice job. Thanks for sending in, Avoided.